Welcome back to another video, guys. This is episode 7 of the Budget Ef Civic Build. In the last episode you saw us rip out this B16 and fully refresh it, and then also take out everything we needed out of our donor car over there. So in this episode we're going to be putting in the manual box, and then by the end of this episode you'll see this B16 motor sitting inside this engine bay. So yeah guys, stay tuned. First things first, as you can see this car currently has no pedal box as it was an automatic, and I'm going to be putting in this manual pedal box that we took out of our donor car. So to do this job I will be using my dash and interior bolts that I bagged up earlier. How convenient. So the first step of putting in that manual box is by taking out this grommet here for the clutch cable. So even though this car was an automatic, it still comes with a hole in the firewall for the clutch cable, which is pretty cool. We just got to pop that grommet out. So now we have the hole for the clutch cable. We'll take our clutch cable from our donor car and slot that right in there. Now it's ready to be hooked up. So we have the steering rack and the loom and fuse box and stuff all out the way, so it gives us good access to the pedal box back here. So guys, that's it. The pedal box is in there. This car is unofficially manual, which is really cool. This is really exciting. So we have the accelerator cable hooked up, the brake pedal hooked up, and the clutch cable, which is awesome. I'm pretty sure, yeah, this is the brake pedal light, and that'll just plug right up there, and boom, we'll have brake lights. This is the automatic shifter wiring, and I'm gonna chop this plug off and then loop these two wires, and then I'm going to take this green and white wire here and then I'm going to ground it to the chassis. So what these adjustments are going to do is they're going to allow me to trick the ignition to thinking the car is always in park so it can start. So just like I said, I have looped these two black and white heavy gauge wires together with a quick solder, and then I've grounded out this green and white wire to a bolt into the chassis there. So now I'll insulate these and then they should be good to go. So now we're going to be moving on to the ECU wiring, and here we have the engine loom. And these are the, if you saw the last video you'll know what wires these are. These are the three wires that'll make this deswap possible. So basically we've got to feed it through this grommet here, and then wire them into the ECU. So to do that I've got just a simple drill bit in my drill, and I'm just going to drill a hole in the back of the grommet. So I've just poked a simple hole in that grommet, and I've got my wire on the end of the screwdriver here. I'll push this into that hole, and then I should grab it from the inside and I'll pull them all through. All three wires are in, and I'm just going to feed these all the way in like so. So I have three wires that I need to tap into these plugs. The first one here is this yellow and silver one, which easily enough I was able to just take the pin out, so I'll be able to just pin it straight into this one by pulling this one out. So let's get that done now. So to unpin these plugs I like to use a dart. And you just want to find the one that you're going to unpin, which is this one here, and you tap the back of it and then pull it out, just as easy as that. So now that we've taken that one out, we can just put this one in just as easily, slot it straight in there, and there we have it. There's the first one complete. So our next job is to wire in this one, this one here. So it says green, red and silver, and I've just pulled apart this plug here, and I have found the green, red and silver one, which is this one here. So I'm going to chop this here, and then I'm going to chop and strip this one, and then solder them together. them soldered there. You don't want to use too much solder on these, otherwise it can create too much resistance. But yeah, we're going to move on to the next one. This one is a yellow and white, so we'll find that in here, which is this one, then we'll chop it and strip it and then solder them together just like the last one. So all the soldering is done for the ECU and this is ready to go. So now I'm going to insulate it all and wrap all these wires back up. And just like that, the B16A ECU is in. Got them wired up, insulated, all that sort of jazz. Nice. So it is now turned night, and as you can see behind me, we have our engine hoist. And on our engine hoist is our engine. Now I don't have the exhaust manifold or intake manifold on it. I'm still waiting on a few things to complete this engine, but I thought I may as well get it in here and start plugging everything in while I wait for those to arrive. So you can see I've got the alternator back on. And yeah, let's just get this in here. So the engine is almost ready to go in. I just forgot that this frame rail here just needs to be lightly massaged in order to make this B-series alternator fit. It did fit in, but it's pretty close, so I'm just going to gently, very gently give this a bit of love. So guys, the right side engine mount is in. Now we're going to move over to the transmission. So the transmission mount is finally in. Now it's time to get the rear mount in. So here's the rear T-bracket. This will hook onto the block like this. And once we've bolted this down, we'll rock the engine and then hook the bolt in just like that. Shouldn't be too hard. There we have it. This car officially has a B16A in it. I'm super happy with that. That couldn't have gone any smoother. So got a decent amount of clearance for the alternator there. Mounts are rock solid. So the next thing we've got to do is just start buttoning everything up and getting everything plugged in. That's the job for tomorrow though, because it's 12 o'clock at night and I'm rattling away with my gun. So it is the next day and the B16 is in here. Now unfortunately we are still waiting on the intake manifold gasket as well as this radiator water neck O-ring, so we can't work on getting the car started today. So that means I'm going to work on getting all this wiring sorted. So I'm going to get the fuse box in there as well as put this back in. So yeah, from now on it's just about reassembly of this car. I'm absolutely pumped. I'm going to give this a little clean up first with the wire wheel. Got the fuse box and the wiper motor in. Now we're going to move on to plugging in some of the engine line. guys, I've done as much wiring as possible as I can do at the moment. And now I'm going to jump into getting the old factory exhaust off. So here it is then. This is the old stock exhaust out of my EF3. It's quite heavy and very quiet. So the next job is to get the manual shifter in, so I'm pretty excited about this. I know we're going to have to be doing some drilling into the chassis and a little bit of modification, but let's see what we're working with. So it's a new day, and I've watched quite a few YouTube videos on how people go about mounting this manual shifter in an automatic box, or in the automatic tunnel. So it's a new day, and I've watched quite a few YouTube videos. I was just seeing how people go about mounting the manual shifter in the automatic tunnel. The best option, I think, is to drill a couple holes here for it to pop up through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as a template and mark my little holes and then start drilling. So you can see here we've got the shifter linkage in, but there's all this play in this little joint here, so I think I'm going to go to the hardware store and look for some washers to fill in this gap to stop the side-to-side play. So I went to the store yesterday and I have bought 3 M12 washers. So the plan of these, so I'm going to stick them either side of this little thing here, and hopefully it'll stop the side-to-side play in that shifter bracket. So these washers work perfectly. It stops all the play in there just perfect. However, it is in gear at the moment and it's still shaking quite a bit. As you can see, there's quite a lot of play coming from this little bracket here, which I can't do much about. So would you look at that? We have a 5-speed manual transmission in my automatic Civic. So yeah guys, how cool is that? So now the job is to make a block off plate for these automatic shifter holes, and to do that I'm going to be using cardboard to make a template, and then I'm going to use some aluminium sheet that I've got lying around. So here is my final cardboard template. Now I'm going to transfer this onto some aluminium. You can quite obviously tell that was one of my first ever times welding with MIG. On these first few welds here, I had the voltage was too low, so I wasn't burning through the aluminium and making the nut stick. So I turned the voltage up and it sticks pretty well. Welding that nut there allows me to screw the shifter linkage in from the bottom without having someone to hold it up here. So let's do that, and then we're going to weld the other nut in. So we have our plate positioned inside the car and it fits really well. So you can see what I was talking about how the nut stays still and you just screw it up from the bottom. I'm going to be doing the same on this one, except welding it inside the car. So I've gone through and cleaned it up, and I'm actually super happy with it. This thing fits lovely. Anyway, the next job is I'm going to be spraying it with the self-etching primer. My paint is dried, now I'm going to go over it with some seam sealer. So coming along to the bottom of the car here, you can see that we've zinc coated and seam sealed up all the cracks. This means no exhaust gas or heat will be able to escape through into the cabin. Okay, so wrapping it up in here, I've just sprayed a coat of my black zinc as usual. It's all sealed off from the gases and heat that'll come through, so none of that will be able to come into the cabin, as well as in this hole here, this rubber will come up and form a seal and not let any exhaust or gases come through there, which is also great. So while we wait for this to properly dry and properly mount this, I'm going to go and bolt the headers on. So the headers are on. These things look pretty good. I feel like they would look better if they were shiny and like kind of stood out a bit more, but like I said in the previous video, I'm going to be looking to buy some new headers anyway. Now I'm going to button up the shifter linkage, and then I can move on to getting some exhaust pieces on. So there it is, guys. The shifter is fully mounted in its little bracket and plate that I made. I'm super happy with this. Probably couldn't have come out any better. So it's a new day, and I thought I'd show you guys something a little bit different to what I'm used to showing. These popped up on Facebook Marketplace for 200 bucks. I got the guy down to 140. So I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet, whether I'm going to use them or just clean them up and sell them again. But yeah, what a steal. So here they are. They're kind of like a EK9 or a DC2 type replica. They have these nasty center caps in here, which I'm hoping will just come out and I'll be able to replace with maybe some Type R ones, who knows. But yeah, let's just store these things. So there they are. These things came out absolutely amazing. Not bad for 140 bucks, I have to say. There's just one problem here on this wheel. Some of the paint's shipping off, but that's all right. Well, I mean, I can't really complain. They are a 36 offset and a 15 by 6.5. So I'm pretty sure that's the exact same specs as the EK9 and DC2 Type R stock wheels. So I think these will come out looking pretty good with a little red Honda center cap sitting right there. So I'll have a look for those. So guys, that's where we're going to end today's video. We have gotten a heap of work done. So we did some wiring, and then we went straight ahead and got that B16A into my Civic, which I'm absolutely hyped on, as well as getting that shifter fully mounted in there and doing a proper job of that, which I was extremely happy with. But yes guys, make sure you keep an eye out for the next video, because it is going to be absolutely huge. We're going to be buttoning up the rest of the things in the engine bay, and then if all goes to plan, we're going to get that B16A started for the first time, which I'm so excited for. But yeah, if you liked the video today, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more content like this, I'm going to be doing a full build on my EF Civic. Yeah, so click that subscribe button if you want to see some more. But yeah, guys, cheers.